I find that these design exercises work very well, and if I can say, this is the commercial part, I guess, of the broadcast, but and the students recognize that. And let me just read some comments from the evaluation, if I can, which I just received, which they say things like, Professor Bucciarelli makes this class difficult and fun at the same time. Another, I found the content very difficult, but also very challenging. I enjoyed it greatly and understood concept, but had difficulty completing exercises. I really enjoyed the class because it was taught in a way that made the material interesting to us. The design exercises were extremely hard and time-exhausting, but they were very interesting to do, and they are the reason I learned the material. Now, that in a way is the kind of response I welcome, and it's generally been the case that students do take to the design exercise, even though they are difficult. I recall one journal when I myself was up very late in the night evaluating the journals, and here was this statement, this student, after pages and pages, student had written, "It's 2 a.m. in the morning and I'm going around in circles." And I wrote back, "Great, you've discovered that design is an iterative process." Now, I could go in and lecture about design as an iterative process, but the students wouldn't understand a damn thing about what I was saying. But when they experience it themselves, that's when learning happens.
So how else would you assess them? If you said that's 40% of their grade, you either give them problem sets, quizzes?
Yeah, sure. As shown in the syllabus, which is also posted, you'll see that I think it's 40% that's on the design exercises, 30% on the quizzes, 2 quizzes, standard quizzes again, and 30% on a final exam. I do not grade the problem sets. They are evaluated. There are weekly problem sets. They're evaluated by the teaching assistant, and we tell students to come and see us if we note that they're having some problems there. But of course, not all the students tackle the problems after a while. You know, the course becomes hard enough in itself in all its other ways, and the students set their priorities and engage most of the have to engage the design exercises and quizzes, of course. And that's one of the reasons why I use these class exercises as well, because they, in a sense, are like problem set.
Do you anticipate making any changes to the class in the future, or are you pretty happy with the way it's going now?
I'm quite happy. I'm continually making changes in the sense of updating the textbook. There are some, I might warn any user or reader of the text that there are some places where there's some typos and things like that. Some are quite serious, and those are usually obvious, though. I don't anticipate changing the course at a great extent. I should mention there's a laboratory course that goes along with it, which is half the units of the solid mechanics course, and so it's a problem of integrating lab exercises, lab experiments with content of the course. That's taken a while, but that seems to work quite well too.
Anything you want to say about the laboratory course before we wrap up?
Well, again, my attitude there is not to do cookbook laboratories. That is, the student goes down and turns a few dials and watches a few outputs, but to try to gauge the student with the setting up of an experiment, which is very important, and all kinds of things can go wrong with that, and I want them to experience that. I want them to have some sense of what kind of instrumentation is available, and here we consciously use some very crude forms of instrumentation in the early experiments, like dial gauges and even meter sticks, and later on we move to things like LVDTs for measuring displacement and strain gauges for measuring, again, strains. So there's an emphasis on the experience of setting up an experiment. There's an emphasis upon instrumentation and seeing how that can also, how powerful certain forms of instrumentation can be, but also how open to not misuse and things going wrong happens there. I don't. So again, the idea is to have the student experience the context of engineering work as much as, say, the principles or the fundamentals of the content or the focus in terms of structures and mechanics. Of course, report writing is also an element of the course. So